Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Oncoming Storms. Your host, Bugboy1014, and I'm joined here with Shad.
Hello.
Now, this is a side session, so this is not one of the mainline sessions. You'll still get mainline sessions Saturday. For those of you who do not know what's currently going on, there you go. But we are currently meeting with Shad during why he was paralyzed for 2 to 3 hours. Which, yes, is 2 to 3 hours. Where we last left off with Shad, you felt free. Like you're in just a deep sky of blue, seemingly. There's some clouds, but everywhere you could see, there was just blue. It was a beautiful place. Well, it felt like home in a way. Though you have no idea where you are. But you're not falling, notably. But this is where we pick up with you. Go ahead and drag yourself into the center of the map. Alright. I'll also pull up your character sheet, because that may or may not be relevant. So, before we start, do you as a player have any guesses as to where you are?
Possibly in my mindscape.
That's a good guess. Do you think Shad would have any idea where he is?
No.
He was just in the middle of a dungeon before, and now he's here. So, you're in the middle of this vast sky of blue, and you can seemingly fly in any direction. What do? Do you look around? Do you look at yourself? Do you fly around? What do you do?
I look at myself to see if there's any anomaly.
You notice that you have changed. While you could have sworn that you were previously shaded or black, you look down and see your body, but you don't recognize your body. You're thin and wispy. It's actually a little hard to see where your body ends, the air begins. And your body's constantly undulating and swirling. It's pretty and it feels like you, but it also feels very different than what you thought was you before. But it feels almost like those are a distant memory now. A lot of complex questions. How do you handle this?
I start thinking about what could possibly be going on. For example, the fact that, I think that, okay, so I have the elements of the air, and I'm currently standing in the air. So what if my current form is that of an elemental due to my body being combined with my own magic?
That is a fair assessment, yes. What will you do with this information?
I start trying to use a few spells to see if I can still access them.
Alright, what spell do you try to cast?
Hold on, give me a sec. I gotta pull up my book.
The tome of knowledge.
I try and cast Chaos Bolt.
Alright. As you try to cast Chaos Bolt into the air, you feel as if the magic leaves your hands, but doesn't go anywhere. As if there's no targets for it to target. I think we may have a Cathangus watching the screen. Cool. Would you like to try and cast a different spell?
I try and cast Dragon's Breath on myself.
Alright. When you do, it seems that you are able to cast it successfully. However, you can only seemingly cast it in two modes. Either lightning or cold. Sorry. Lightning or thunder.
So my magic has combined with my physical form, only allowing me to cast my original spells. Those that correspond with my actual form.
Well, you haven't tried to cast spells that aren't from that list yet. Because I believe you do have a few.
I think I do, yeah. Let me look.
Uh,
I try and cast Mending, a basic spell that is easy to learn.
Alright. When you try to cast Mending, at first you expect it to fail because it doesn't have a target, because you seemingly aren't wearing any equipment. But you suddenly remember that you have no idea how to cast Mending. It's weird. You knew before how to cast it, but now you have no idea how to cast it. How strange. What do you do with this knowledge?
I try and move around to see where I am. A little bit more, at least.
Alright, give me a perception check. "21? You're able to see endless seas of blue and clouds off in the distance. You notice your vision's a lot farther here than it normally is. Even on the best of days back in the world you're in before, you could only see about a mile and a half out. But it seems like you can see a lot farther here than you normally can. And you don't see any sort of land masses anywhere of any kind. Just everything looks like sky. Though, because you got 21, you do notice thin outlines occasionally that you wonder if they're a trick of the eye or actually something there. What do you do?
Instead of just looking at them and thinking they're a trick of the eye, I go over to them and I try and go over to the outlines and I speak in Orion. Where are we?
You go over to one of the outlines and you see it is Uh, as you get closer, you do notice that it is actually a bee. It does have a shape. Do, 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 do. Let me look up a specific creature real quick. No, that one. It is. Do, do, do. It is not a normal, like, you would expect. You notice this. I'll just go ahead and drag it. You notice a creature, it has an outline, but it almost seems like it's wearing armor, in a way. It says, "Hmm, come, you are born into your home. What else would you want to know?"
Where is this home?
It's home. It's the sky. You are small compared to what I would expect. You must be young.
I don't know what you consider young.
I find it
Because I
surprising
have,
that you wouldn't know.
well, I remember a place with friends and a brother, but here,
Yes.
as if I'm nothing.
Oh. And it suddenly dawns on him. Oh, you're one of those. And you see the creature flies towards you, and you notice that it is seemingly. It almost looks like an elemental wearing armor or inhabiting armor, and it does have a weapon. What do you do as it flies closer?
I stay on guard, but don't get ready to fight just yet.
As it flies. Shut up, phone. Wait for that mute. As it flies closer, you hear it say, in Orin, by the way, it's speaking entirely in Orin. Relax. I am not here to hurt you. If I wanted to hurt you, you would have already been hurt by now. You seem to be a lost traveler. You're not used to being here anymore, are you?
I don't know where here is.
Do you even remember your own name?
Yes,
What is your name?
Shad, Azure, Black.
As you say that, you do notice, you do realize that there is no words in Orin for that name. Like, you have to speak a different language to be able to say the name. And the creature shakes its head and says, that is not your name. And you know it. At least it's not the one I'm asking for.
And I don't know what name you're referring to.
The creature reaches out and attempts to touch your forehead. What do you do?
I choose to let it touch my forehead.
Alright, as you let it touch your forehead, you feel another jolt of energy. Though this one a lot less painful into your forehead. As certain parts of your brain seem to have, well, what brain you have left, seem to have been triggered. As a certain word pops into your head. a name specifically. Ariona, which I will go ahead and spell in DMs. It says, your name is Ariona. How could you have forgotten that?
I don't know.
Moreover, you seem to have gotten yourself mighty lost. Do you even know where you are?
No, I don't.
Perhaps it's best it stays that way. Though, I can't leave you empty-handed. I can guide you back home, if you wish.
Yes, please.
Someday you will be ready to come back here, but for now, it seems this is not your home anymore. You're not ready. Come, follow me. And it begins to float away, and it's a little hard to see it as it's floating away, but that's because it's air in an air environment. The armor helps you see it. So, do you follow it?
Yes, I do.
Alright. How long do you follow this element?
Until it stops.
No. Do you ask it any questions along the journey?
I asked, so, how do you know me?
You... Let's just say... You're someone that I've heard of. I did not ever know you directly, but many have heard of you here. Even if you
But
don't
you
even
still
know your
recognize
own
me.
story.
Yet you still recognize me without ever have seen, without even meeting me.
Well, of course. Because... then again, you wouldn't know that, would you?
No.
It stops for a moment and turns to you and says, I am not looking at your body. Us creatures, well, what do your people call it? Elementals? Us elementals
Yes.
don't look at people. I misspoke, apologies. Us elementals don't look at a person's body. We look at their soul. And your soul is clear as day. It's obvious to me who you are, based off of looking on that soul. Regardless of the form that you
So each elemental is born with a certain soul.
take. Indeed.
And is it the clearer the soul is, the stronger it is?
You say that as if you think it's a different being from yourself. And you say that as if you're in a competition with it. Such
No.
petty mortal concerns.
I'm not worried if it is stronger than me. I'm just curious about my own abilities. Why have a competition against something if you're one and the same?
Ah. You're more wise than I suspected. It seems you may not have lost all of your own knowledge. Indeed, you have a great many abilities that most back in your world would call godlike. But for you, It's just Tuesday. Which, yes, was a cheeky reference. Regardless, you are who you are. Ultimately, at the end of the day, you are in a unique position to define yourself in a way that most cannot.
And can you help me learn
What is it that you're wanting to learn?
who I am?
Interesting.
I've been told that I've been strong, but I have no memory. I've been told I was powerful, yet I don't know. I am concerned at the same time I'm not. I feel like maybe if I remember who I am, then I can become better than what I was. But at the same time, I might lose who I currently am.
And would that bother you if you did?
No, because if I lose who I am now, I'll still be who I am. We are one and the same.
Well then, it appears you have made up your minds and aren't even at a crossroads now, are you?
No.
Then what is your actual question?
What are we? Not what the mortals call us, but what are our true names?
Your name? Well, I said it before. Your name is Ariano.
No,
Ariano.
not that name.
Hmm?
I'm referring to what we as a species are called.
Oh. You are something special. You used to be something, but you've since changed yourself so much that you can no longer be classified as that thing. You are now a unique being in the cosmos. Not quite one thing, not quite another.
So to put it simply, I am unique to myself, not one as another,
It's
nor one as me.
getting a little hard to hear you, buddy.
Sorry.
It's fine. Could you repeat what you said?
So to put it simply, I am a unique being. Not one as I am, but I am not the same as others.
Indeed. You are. You used to be certain things, but now you're something else entirely. Some would say you're just the sum of your parts, but others would say you're more than the sum of your parts. All I will say is you have attained freedom, something most beings cannot have. You are free from your destiny and can go down your own path now. A privilege most don't have. A privilege I don't have.
Did you ever wish you had the same privilege?
I do not wish for things I cannot attain.
Why don't you wish for things that you can't change?
It is not my place to attain such freedom.
But why not dream of it?
What replaces dreams for someone who does not sleep.
Immortals call it daydreaming, where
Huh.
they are awake, but yet never sleep. They think of things they wish they had, or could have.
I've heard of this daydream. It always struck me as, well,
Odd.
yes, but also it always was told to me as if it was just fantasy, as if it was meaningless, just a way to pass the time.
That is what the mortals do with it, yes. They use it to pass time, to wish they had one thing instead of another. Sometimes those wishes come true, other times they do not. I still think maybe one day I can have this before I pass.
Perhaps one day. I do notice meddling in your life. There are forces outside of you who are trying to shape you and guide your future. The question is which ones you let do that and which ones you do not. Since you're in a unique position to shake them off if you wanted to. But that is up to you. Not all of them are malevolent. Not all of them are beneficial. And
There's
many
one I wish
seek to tug you down
though.
a specific path. Sorry, yes?
There is one in particular I wish to defeat. I do not remember his name, but I do remember his face.
The one you
A face.
call Silvestra?
No,
Oh, then who?
I do not know his name, but he's the one who changed me.
Yes,
Yeah.
that man. That horrible, horrible man. Do you know what he is trying to do?
To get rid of everything that opposes him.
He is trying to kill all of dragonkind. Do you have any idea what that might do to the multiverse?
It would destroy everything that we know.
Dragons are inherently important to the magical weave and to the balance of the cosmos. They are linchpins and foci of magic, more potent than even elementals. And yet he seeks to wipe them off the map, even when he himself is such a dragon. How foolish of him. How
And I don't get
completely
why.
reckless.
I do not understand why he wishes to do it if he is one of the creatures. He should understand, as being one creature, we are not all the same.
It seems he has deluded himself into thinking that, or just doesn't care anymore. I do
And as
not
far as I
pretend to know the machinations of his minds.
and to tell you the truth, I think that's for the best. A broken mind cannot understand the whole, and the whole cannot understand the broken.
Indeed. Why would anyone carry around such an infernal device anyway?
For
You
revenge.
see the elemental shake its head in disgust.
Maybe
Well,
for revenge.
if you ever confront him, be careful. I would advise against killing him.
Or it may upset the balance.
If you could disable him without his knowledge, that would be best. You may need help from others, though, as even one as mighty as you might not be able to do this alone. And with that, a certain cloud forms, as I will give you a sneak peek at some of what's happening in the background. You happy for this, Shad?
Mm-hmm.
So, a certain cloud forms, and you see a basically them casting a major image spell to make a certain image appear. And that image is what appears to be a large plain throne room. It's clearly a throne room, but like it's by someone who doesn't care about fancy stuff, but still wanted a really big throne room. It looks like the type of throne room you'd expect a con to have, if you know what a con is. I know your character probably doesn't know, but I'm describing this to the player.
Like a con artist?
A con, like Jenga stuff.
Oh. Like
Yeah.
an emperor.
Kind of like an emperor, but imagine like less extravagant and more fighter warrior based. Like where it's like brutal looking and more, you know, set up to intimidate rather than set up to look pretty. If that makes sense.
Kind of like the Game of Thrones throne, where it's all just swords.
Kind of, yeah. However, this throne isn't just in an empty room, as it seems to be in a long hallway of sorts. Though the hallway is much more massive than you've ever seen, and it has a very long table full of food and drink, with rows upon rows of chairs. In each chair, rows upon rows of chairs along the long side of the table. In each chair is sitting a man in what looks to be formal attire, but of great build. Men and women, I should say. Sorry, not just the men. And you kind of recognize them. They're all half dragons, which rings a bell in your head. And they seem to be eating and drinking and having fun. However, what catches your eye the most is the man in the chair. As you see that face again, you see that individual again. You see the man that sent you here in that chair. And he is laughing. For reference to the player, by the way, this is basically a Viking drinking hall. Like a Viking feasting hall, in terms of how it's set up. Just bigger. I'll let you just absorb that in. Also trying to get a certain NPC stat block up. Here we go. And then I will also show this. It is reminiscent of Valhalla, yes. And then I will also show this to you. So. close this and then send a picture to you. You see this man sitting at the throne, which you just sent your picture of in DMs. And the audience at home got to see on stream. However, so this is what you initially see, and this is the scene currently going on. How do you react to this?
I look at the scene and just like, so you can laugh and smile just like everyone else.
Give me a perception check. $15. You do notice a lot of the warriors that are sitting at the tables, now that you've actually gotten a better look at them, they do remind you of Shadow. So you would guess they are likely dragon hunters. Though they appear to be a lot... You don't know if they're older, but they appear to be bigger and stronger than Shadow. And there's probably well over 100 here. However, you don't have that much time to think about that, as within a minute, a certain shining being appears in the hall room in front of the throne itself. It's a type of being that you may have only ever heard of. Give me a religion check. See if you know what this being is. I'll also drag out a token for it. 14. You've only heard of this being in myths and legends. You don't know quite what they are, but you have heard of their name. Imperion. You see an Imperion appear in front of the man that you know as the one who made you lose your memories. And you can tell it's speaking, though it's speaking, I think, in a language that you don't necessarily... Do you know Celestial?
No.
Okay. It's speaking in Celestial, so you cannot understand what it's saying. But it seems to be shouting angrily and waving its maul towards the man sitting in the throne. But the man sitting in the throne is still sipping some wine and is barely paying attention to it. This scene progresses this way for 2 minutes, with the being just yelling at them. A lot of people in the feasting hall ignoring it, though some paying attention, and seemingly watching with excited looks on their face. And the man in the throne just dismissively ignoring the actual being. Do you have anything you'd like to do during this 2-minute period?
I roll my eyes thinking that this is not going to go well for either party.
Alright. When this happens... So, besides that, do you just wait the entire 2 minutes?
I continue watching to see what does happen. So, yes, I watch.
Okay. Now, eventually, the being gets fed up enough that it swings its mighty maul down at the person in the throne. But the maul never reaches the throne. As he's about to hit the being in the throne, you suddenly see him stop, a look of pain on his face, and then he disappears as a 40-foot radius sphere of black darkness appears where he used to be, seemingly sucking him inside and destroying him utterly. As he cast the spell Dark Star, which I'll post in Roll20 chat if you'd like to read it. If you'd like me to read it out, I can go ahead and do so as well. However, if the being actually cast this spell, it was impossible to tell as the being in the throne did not move a single muscle. It just suddenly the Empyrean stopped, disappeared, and they were no more.
So it seems as if this man has the power of what most would think as gods.
And the air elemental near you just say, he is considered to be untouchable. Yes. As this occurs, both of you notice, the being look up to basically the camera as he looks up directly at both of you through the major image spell. And the air elemental quickly cancels the major image spell. And in that moment, before he did, you saw the same piercing green eyes that you had seen before. You know this man is the one you faced in the past, based off of what little you have heard, what little you remember. He is the reason why you are here today, is what you remember. And it seems, the Aramis says, it seems he could tell we were watching you.
He was toying with us.
Maybe he was putting on a display on purpose. With that, I would like you to make a wisdom saving throw. Shad.
Wait, that's the wrong thing, isn't it? Yes, that is.
Yeah, that is a wisdom check. I'm pretty sure that's a wisdom check, not a wisdom save.
Here we go.
There we go. That's better. Yeah, that was like the cutscene from Ocarina of Time of Zelda and Link looking at Ganondorf in the courtyard. That's exactly what that was. Alright, you fail the saving throw. And you feel a very heavy tug on you. As if you're being pulled somewhere. I will make you make another saving throw.
Wisdom?
Yes, as he is having difficulty tugging you That's another failure. You get pulled out of your current situation into, well, the drinking hall that you saw earlier. Except now you are in front of his throne room, and I will change the music. We will have a small intermission as I grab new music, and then we will come back. Does this sound good with you, Shad?
Yeah.
All right.
This is gonna be fun.
Button! Alright, we are back. There are many doors, Ed boy. Okay. As we return, I was unable to find a map for this. I apologize. So you'll just have to pretend that this Skyfield is a Nordic drinking hall. And that's all there is to it. But I will have this man here. He's if you're looking at his stats, he's still battle worn from the last battle he was in. Let me reset those. There we go. This time, all 3 bars actually made. So, if he is here in the throne, you're currently here, and then I can actually do a little square. All of the table and stuff is all back here, if that makes sense. This isn't to scale; it's a lot longer than this, but that gives you an idea of where it is, where you currently are in the drinking hall. And there's chairs all along the edge of the thing. So, Shad, you are face down on the floor, which is not the first time that you've been face down on the floor. And you start to suddenly get up. And I am peeking my microphone. Goddamn. Okay. You suddenly start to get up. As you notice, a certain being is there. Let me turn down my volume on my microphone. Is that better? Is it easier to hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So, let me try doing this. See if this is better. Sorry, I'm testing my microphone and audio levels live. Anyway, he says, as you start to get up, you look and you see the man that you feel a burning rage for in your head stare directly down at you with those piercing emerald green eyes. And he smiles. You hate the fact that he's smiling. What do? You're still currently on the floor.
I get up and look at him.
You stand up and look at him. He is easily a 12-foot tall man with gigantic wings coming out of his back and ornate, fanciful armor that he seems to have made himself, and from what you can see, is made out of a large number of dragon parts. You don't even know how many dragons that this has been made out of, but you can see all kinds of dragon bones, scale, hide, even some you don't even recognize. As well as what appears to be a strange bronze-like material that I will have you make an Arcana check to see if you can identify. As in this timeline, his armor was never shattered, so he still has his original armor. Not one. You're too blinded by the fact that this man's staring at you to identify what his armor is made of. He's sitting there, smiling, and staring at you. What do?
I ask him, what do you want from me now?
He says, I want answers. Why are you still alive?
Tell you the truth?
I thought I got rid of you. answer me.
I told you, I don't know how I'm still alive. I just am.
Really? You have no idea how you're still alive, do you? You expect me to believe that?
Hey, at least I'm being honest.
Oh, really? Would you submit to a zone of truth?
What even is that?
Care to find out? And he casts, and he raises his hand casually and casts Zone of Truth. So, would you like to make a wisdom saving throw to resist Zone of Truth?
Not gonna go well. I'll try. Was gonna fail.
You fail.
As
As you are now contained in a Zone of Truth. Do you as a player know what a Zone of Truth is?
Nope.
Alright, so prepare for this one. Let me bring up the thing just to verify and show the audience at home. You create a magical zone that guards against deception in a 15-foot radius sphere centered on a point of your choice within range. Until the spell ends, a creature that enters the spell's area for the first time on its turn or starts its turn there must make a charisma saving throw. Sorry, give me a charisma save, not a wisdom save.
Charisma was gonna fail even worse.
Yep, you did. Until it's must make a charisma saving throw. On a failed save, a creature cannot speak a deliberate lie while in the radius. You know whether the creature succeeded or failed on the saving throw. An affected creature is aware of the spell and thus can avoid answering questions to which it normally would respond with a lie. Such a creature can be evasive in its answers as long as it remains within the boundaries of truth. You cannot tell a deliberate lie or half-truth. You can choose not to speak, but you cannot lie.
Well, that's fun.
For reference at home, it is a second level spell available to bards, clerics, and paladins. For reference on the circle, by the way, he has it centered entirely on you, notably making sure he's not inside of it.
Oh, that's just mean. Wait, how far away is it? How far away am I from him?
You're about 20 feet away. 15 feet, we'll say.
So wait, if I run to him, the zone follows me.
You don't know that.
Isn't that how most magic is?
What was that?
Isn't that how most of them are, though?
It's possible, but you don't know. Are you asking as a player or asking as a character?
Yes. Asking as a player.
Okay, as a player, he selects an area. It doesn't select a person. So he has it centered on you, but it's not going to follow you. It's just going to... it's basically just going to be like, hey, you're here. So if you move like 5 feet, you're still in it, but if you move farther than that, you're no longer subjected to the effect. But of course, you saw what happened when someone tried to approach him before. They got dark start.
Yeah, I'm not risking that.
Alright. You do feel Shad. Give me a wisdom saving throw, actually.
Gonna fail.
You do feel an overwhelming sense of I'm in danger by being in this man's presence.
My brain. I'm in danger!
Yes, that is what every single fiber of your being is screaming at you. As everything about this being in front of you feels completely wrong.
Question.
Answer.
If I yell so, will he come to get me?
If you yell Silvestro,
Yes.
you only have one way to find out.
Sure. I yelled at the top of my lungs, Silvestro!
You see Lion Fang's looking at you as his face starts to slowly turn to anger. And he starts to stand up from his chair. But in that moment, you feel a tug on your back as you're yanked out of the situation. And you are pulled all the way from this area for what seems like a very long distance and slammed into Silvestro's lair, landing face first in a pile of gold.
Again with the gold!
So, we will now go to Silvestro's lair.
At least I know it worked.
Hey, that was some pretty quick thinking. I'll give you props for that. I just need to pull. You can tell it wasn't very this. I don't have it all in here. Here's Silvester's like. At least I have a map for this one. Oh god, there's still people from Timeline 1. Let me delete them. Because of course there is. Okay, you land here. Because you land face first in the corner. And Silvestro says cheekily, "You rang?"
I get up from the coins and I say, thanks for the help.
He goes, "Don't thank me yet." As you see someone else has followed you.
Shit. God
Goes,
damn it.
You hear this man, in a voice you've never heard him say, "Silvestro, you bastard!" And Silvestro just kind of chuckles and says, "I'm sorry, is the boy throwing a tantrum again?" Ah. And then you see Lion Fang snap his fingers, and a familiar black orb begins to appear on top of Silvestro.
I yell, Silvestro, move!
Silvestro just looks at you and smirks. As he just sits there, doesn't move, and tanks the entire orb like it's not a big deal. Like, the entire attack goes for an entire minute, and Silvestro's taking damage, but he's just not even moving.
Cheeky bastard.
Lion Fang begins to actually, give me an insight check, actually. Give me an insight check. Sorry, I said the name of the villain. Uh-oh. Insight. You can tell this man who scared you so much is actually nervous. Actually, that reminds me. I should actually roll damage for Dark Star. Because I normally don't have to roll damage for it, but let me actually roll damage. See how much damage it did do to Silvestro. Okay, so upcast it with all the benefits from Lion Fang. That is 16d10.
Unbuild, it barely does anything to Silvestro.
$67.
It really does barely anything to Silvestro.
Yeah.
He lost what? 0.1 of his health?
However, it's important to know that that's 67 damage that happens every turn for 1 minute straight. So, times that by 10, he actually did 670 damage. But, Silvestro has a 4-digit health bar, and I believe he also has immunity to the damage type. So he took nothing from that, because he has immunity to that damage type.
Of course Silvestro does.
It was force damage, by the way. He was doing force damage.
Okay then.
Let me double check that Silvestro has immunity to force damage. I forget if he does, but I think he does. I forget, honestly, what he is vulnerable to. Because I know it's not fire. He's not vulnerable to fire, despite being planetary. Yes, he is immune to force. For reference to the people at home that are wondering, he is immune to acid, cold, fire, force, lightning, thunder, non-magical, bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing. That is everything that Sylvester is immune to. Oh, in terms of actual things. He's also immune to the charmed, frightened, and poisoned conditions. As well as exhaustion. I forgot to put that one in there. He's also immune to exhaustion.
So pretty much, this dude is a god. Almost a god.
Sylvester chuckles and says, I am not a god, but I'm certainly far more of one than this little pod. He says, pointing to Lionfang. Who, Lionfang, you can see, is pissed off, pulls out what looks to be a large, shining tube of some kind, and just aims at Silvestro and pulls the trigger, firing what looks to be 16 beams of light into Silvestro. Admittedly ripping small chunks off of him, but not even doing all that much damage. Like, it would maybe do this much, where it's like a small chunk.
That's not a small chunk.
I mean, it's a small chunk when you compare it to 4,700. Plus, I think Sylvester has health regen as well, to point out.
Of course he does.
And Sylvester chuckles and says, "You know better, Lion Thing. Or do you try to keep even that name secret, Mr. Argale?" And with that, Lion Fang gets extremely mad when he says that name. Because, you leave him out of this! Shad, that name rings a bell for you. Give me a history check with advantage.
Gotta find my 21.
You remember hearing the name Arvigale by someone by the name Pythanglus Hersine Arvigale. And you suddenly look and you put two together as you realize you knew you recognized those green eyes from somewhere. These are a lot colder, but they're still the same. How do you react to this?
My first thought is, oh, shit. Good thing that's his brother. Oh, this is a shit show.
He shoots you in the chest.
Why would he shot in the chest? I didn't say this out loud.
By the way, this rifle he has is about 15 feet long. I'll go ahead and say that he shot.
Damn it.
So he does 24 d8 damage to you, radiant. He does 89 radiant damage to you.
I'm dead.
I think that one shot.
It did. I have 88.
So, you say, "Oh, hey, you're Pythanglus' brother," and then he gets pissed off, pulls out his rifle, shoots you, and just drops you.
No, I didn't even say it. What? That's the thing. I said it in my mind.
He can read minds. Shit. Yeah, Sylvester could do that too, by the way. Both of them can.
I knew Sylvester can. I knew Sylvester could. I didn't know Kistrock could.
So, with this, and all of the thing with the actual peanut gallery comments, they're just making me laugh, and I love them. We will actually cut the scene for a little bit because Well, you're unconscious, so you wouldn't be aware of some of the stuff that goes on while you're unconscious, right?
No. Did I
Because
at
actually,
least
no,
have
you're
a
not
chance?
unconscious. You're straight up dead. I forgot about that. Because believe it or not,
Did
you
I
don't
at
get
least...
death saving throws. Do you know why?
Why?
Because you took more than your maximum HP of damage in one hit. And that causes you to no longer take death saves.
So I'm
So,
just permanently...
sorry, go ahead.
Nice. I'm just permanently dead. Nice.
No, actually, because later on, you start to come to as Silvestro has cast Revivify upon you. So you come back with 1 HP, still alive, as he brought you back from the dead.
I'm pretty sure I have another... I'm pretty sure I have a potion somewhere. I gotta have at least one potion here somewhere.
You have a potion of legendary of too eagle to die, if you remember. You still have one of those.
I also have too angry to die.
Yeah.
I was just talking about a regular health potion, but no, I don't.
It's fine. As Cathangus is saying in the comments, trust in Grunkle Sylvie, aka Grunkle Sylvester, which is what Cathangus calls him. Sylvester says, "Welcome to the land of the living, sleepy one. Did you enjoy your brief trip in the afterlife?"
To put simply, not entertaining.
So it would seem. I have driven the man off. What was he chasing you for, anyway?
I was in another plane of existence, don't know where I was. An air elemental-like creature showed me his throne room, proceeded to pull me from said throne room, and from said plane of existence, into his throne room, was curious why I was still alive, put a zone of truth on me, and in the process, before he could say anything, I called out your name.
Ah, that was that was quick thinking.
I know
That
you
was
can
a
travel
very good
dimension to
idea.
dimension.
You did such a thing.
Well, considering the fact that you can travel dimension to dimension no problem, I thought, why not try it?
What you did not anticipate is that he could do the same.
Nope, can't think about that.
Yes, he is a very special kind of being. Would you like to know the name of what he is?
A pain in the ass.
But no. He is what is referred to as a planeswalker.
Of course. Those things are a pain in the ass.
Interesting. I'm surprised you even know what those are.
I blame memory.
Which, I was about to bring that up. Would you like your memory back?
How much are we talking?
How much do you want?
Preferably all of them. At the same time, that might break my brain. So, just a little bit.
What happened to all of them?
What do you mean? What happened to all of them? Because the basics I know is the fact that I'm here, somehow alive, somehow I'm getting stronger due to my party. You helped me with some memories here and there, but if I get all my memories back, it might break my brain.
Perhaps. But it's not just your memories that you lost, if you remember.
Yeah, I know it's skills and abilities.
With the memories would come your former powers. In some ways, you would regain much of the power that you lost. But in others, you would also lose access to an ability to grow. As
Which
you
is
would
why
become far stronger than your friends.
exactly why I only want a little bit of that right now.
You are slowly regaining your powers back as we speak, yes. But I could speed up the process if you wanted it. It's up to you, though. Do you want it all
Then it,
back now? Or for it to
not right.
come back gradually?
Preferably gradually. If I do need all my powers before the time comes, I have unlocked everything and more. I will ask you because at that time I feel more power fight would be our best option. But currently, it doesn't seem like fun one-shotting just about every creature there is.
Alright. Would you like a little bit?
Yes, please.
What piece would you like back? Is there any particular avenue you would like to have returned to you that you know of?
Well, considering the fact that even with Shadow Dance, I feel like there's more to it. Like, there's more that I can push it to.
I see.
What
Is
was
there
that
any
laugh
other
for?
requests?
What was the laugh for?
He just answers you laugh with another laugh.
I don't like this.
He lets out a loud chortle laugh. As he seems to be very amused about something.
I'm gonna regret this. Screw it.
How much power do you want?
Full access to the shadows.
Is that all that you want?
Also, I want to know what plane of existence I was in when I was stuck in a spiritual form.
You want to know what else that you're in when you're stuck in the spirit form? Or
Yes.
did I mishear what your request?
I want to know the plane of existence and what exactly I could do there.
Well, then let's start with that, as that will be less dramatic. Here, come closer to me.
As I just slide down the aisle.
And he opens his mouth, and you see roiling blue flame come out of his mouth and wash over you. They're not hurting you. They actually feel soothing in a way. You remember back to your childhood. You used to be playing with some toys. And you remember you had toys of elemental as a kid. You had an air elemental named Orin. You had, not Orin, sorry, named Oriona. You had a fire elemental, a water elemental, and an earth elemental. They're all playing against each other. And you would like dash them against each other and have pretend adventures and battles with them and whatnot. And it was all a lot of fun. But then something happened one day. Later on, you began to, well, how it happened was you were in school in the Dragon Academy, and others were, well, let's just say not treating you nicely. You started to get emotional, you blacked out, and when you woke up, the school was gone, and there's a crater where it used to be, and you have no idea how that occurred. Later, you found out you were the cause for the crater, but no one told you how. And everyone treated you with fear from that day. Even your parents. Oh God, you remember your parents now.
I don't like this.
And with this, you flash back to reality and say, and Sylvester says, how much of your power do you want back?
Well, the fact that I now know that apparently it seems to be that one, I am the literal incarnate of the elements, somehow, some way, which doesn't make any sense. Good. Wait. Oh. Now I get what that elemental said.
You do amuse me. Do you know that?
You've told me quite often.
So, you have power in your form that eclipses your peers.
That's an understatement.
In fact, in your tourist form, you had power even to rival my own.
How the hell do I have power rivaling you?
More importantly, how the hell did Lion Fang defeat someone and strip him of all his power?
That is very concerning, actually, now that I think about it. But
you've begun to get back some of your abilities. After all, that town with the wolves in it is...
don't speak of that again.
It certainly learned your power. You're beginning to get back your legendary status. And you may yet meet your brother again one day. The one who always looked up to you. Tried to be like you. Back then, you were more of a raging barbarian than anything else, since you had very little control over your own abilities. And were just a wild tempest running around the countryside, smiting everything that even slightly made you emotional. Over time, you did learn to control your anger, but only to a certain degree. Not too dissimilar to a certain green man in a different world. Yes, Sylvester's allowed to break the fourth wall.
I look at Sylvester. Are you referring to Anglist?
No, but that is a wonderful joke. I'll be sure to repeat that one to him later. Also,
Probably already
yes,
heard it now.
Cathanas, I know that you are seeing this in some strange way, wherever you are. That man is certainly an enigma, but you are as well. You have always been a being of chaos and order, in a way. With the
Yeah,
raw
good.
elements channeled into a singular being.
Which I still don't get how that's possible.
Why do you think you have such natural productivity to shadow? Why do you think you have such natural ability with air, lightning?
Because I'm a storm creature. I'm born from the water. Wait, I just realized I didn't. How do I have a lightning and thunder ability? I'm part of the water.
Exactly. And how does shadow fit into this? Why do you have shadow abilities? How would that fit into water? Do you
I am the literal embodiment of the elements. How does this work?
I am surprised it has taken you this long to question.
I thought I was just growing stronger by thinking of different things.
You thought you were what?
I thought I was slowly growing stronger just by thinking of new things and how to use them.
No, you are regaining your old power. It is why you are attaining so much power so quickly. Because really, you have all this power. You're just
It's
holding
just
yourself
sealed
back.
within me.
Yes. In reality, he never took your power away. He just put in a series of mental blocks to make you seal them away. To make you scared to unleash it. And to forget that you were even scared. You think you are weak. Which is why you are weak. The moment you stop thinking that is the moment your power will begin to return. The question is, do you even want it anymore?
Yes, I still want that power, but at the same time, I don't want to become so strong that my friends are left behind.
True. You already have done that. With your current ability and the ability you would have gained if I had just given you your shadows back, you would have already outstripped your friends, including that of Shadow himself, the Dragon Hunter, a character who he himself outstrips your friends. Or did you not realize that?
I already knew he outstripped us, no problem. It's not hard to figure that one out.
Figure what one out? I'm sorry.
That he outstrips us in power.
That is interesting, yes. This man has great power. Would you like to know more about him?
Yes.
I can tell you what I know. Because I trust you. And there's no one watching this that it would be spoiled to, he says, cheekily looking at the camera. You have no idea what's about to talk about. I will begin to explain. Would you like me to go over his entire backstory? Or do you just want me to tell you what he is and what he can do?
Just what he is and what he can do. I'll ask him about his backstory, but if he chooses to tell me, that's a different story.
If he explains it, it's a what?
If he chooses to tell me his own backstory, that's his choice.
Alright. So, he is a being like me, known as a great worm. Do you know what a great worm is?
One of the highest classes possible for a dragon.
Indeed. We are beings that exist across the multiverse. We are beings of immense power. We are the highest pinnacle of dragon, beyond the gods themselves, Bahamut and Tiamat, and formerly Sardius. However, he did not start a dragon like I did. No, he was simply a half-dragon when he was born.
Similar to me.
He was like you, yes. Through various circumstances that we don't want to hear due to not wanting to hear his backstory, he always felt under the shadow of someone else and craved more and more power to try and prove himself. Eventually, he came across a dark artifact that corrupted his mind slowly over time. And this want to prove himself just turned slowly into a want to be superior to everyone, a need to be superior to everyone. He slowly could not stand anyone being stronger than him. Not for a superiority reason, but out of paranoia. He is as strong as he is because he feels he has to be. Because he feels if he is not, he would be immediately killed. He is a deeply paranoid being. Why do you think he has such powerful people around him? Has such elaborate traps set up? Is always so prepared for every situation? Is always spying on adventurer groups across the world, including yours. Right now, he's watching Thorin fight a room full of zombies. And none of you even know. None of you except for your vigilant grandmother, of course. But she's too busy right now to really notice.
So the armor hides what he actually is.
What about the armor?
It hides what he truly is, doesn't it?
It hides his true form, yes. He has not turned into his full dragon form in a long time, preferring to stay in his half-dragon form. But he has achieved a dream that all half-dragons seek, and that is to attain true dragonhood. To no longer be just a half-dragon. That is a dream that even you seek, on some level. Even if you're not consciously aware of it.
I'm conscious about it. I've always wanted to become stronger and actually obtain dragonhood. But it's a slow process.
So I shall offer you a choice. Would you like to learn more about shadows? Or would you like to take your first step towards dragonhood? Which path
I would
you
like-
choose?
When I was older, before I lost my memories,
What is
did
your
I... Before I lost my memories, was I originally a full dragon?
You never attained it, as you never had the discipline to be able to. You now have far more discipline than you used to. So you now have the capability to do it. Plus, unlike before, you have a friend in a high place. He winks at you.
Yeah, that's an understatement, since you're so much taller than me.
Another fun.
Question,
Nancy.
what's the air like up there?
You would know, you were just there.
That's fair.
And he gives you a pat on the head. Hello, Llewellyn. Llewellyn just got home from work. He goes, "Oh, right. You're still wounded, aren't you?" And Sylvester taps your forehead, and all of your HP and conditions get healed. As he uses a more powerful version of Thorun's ability. You know Thorun's new ability that lets him just touch someone and give them 30 HP?
Mm-hmm.
Sylvester has the most powerful form of that, which is 90 HP and a greater restoration spell. So, there you go. You can just give someone casually 90 HP without even casting a spell.
You make no sense.
So, you have a unique position. Would you like to attain the power you used to have that caused the crater in that school? Would you like to master the shadows? Or would you like to take the first step towards dragonhood? A goal you never achieved before.
Right now, I'd like to gain the shadows. Because I believe you might just train me one day to become a true dragon.
Perhaps I might. Perhaps you will find your own way. There is more than one way to skin a cat.
Skinning cats is just weird. Why not skin a boar?
I don't know why that's the thing, but it... Shad,
Yes.
how much stronger do you wish to become in addition to the shadows?
My max HP for my current level. So I can help my friends and do a lot more damage.
I see.
And so that one day when I do fight him again, and he does use that weapon, I won't die so instantly.
You want maximum HP, do you?
Yes, so I can help my friends in case of emergency.
Give me one moment to look into something. As he sees Silvestro lowers his head and begins to think. I, as the DM, need to look up something. And he gives you time to think. What do you think about as he gives you some time?
I think about different ways I could attain dragonhood, since Silvestro says I have different ways besides just going with him.
Indeed. Okay, that is no longer a boon that exists. Good to know. So there was a boon that makes you always roll maximum for your HP whenever you get level up, but that boon no longer exists.
Didn't you add it to the celestial one?
I added it to boon of immortality, but I don't think you want the curse / boon of immortality. Let's put
I don't want to be immortal, no.
What's the problem
At
with
least not currently.
Sorry, go ahead.
At least not currently.
Well, he doesn't want to give you 2 boons, which is what this would end up being. But he will give you something else. He says, Silvestro looks up at you, smiles, and gestures to an open doorway that now appears and says, if you want your gift, walk through this door and meet the being on the other side. Do you do so?
Yes.
Alright. When you walk through the doorway, on the other side of the doorway, you see a room full of darkness. It is an entirely dark place. But it's not uncomfortable. And you feel something familiar. You see a shadowy figure standing there. It's hard to tell their features though, because they seem to be far away. What do you do?
I look at them and I say, hello?
And they go, look at you. And they say in a deep voice, in a language you do not understand, and yet somehow you know exactly what they're saying. I understand. Yes. How do you react?
I ask, what do you mean by that?
And then you begin to see the being rapidly approaching you. It's not moving, it's just seemingly floating closer to you really fast. What do you do? It's about to hit you.
Silvestro said to meet the being. He didn't say to fight the being.
I will
So
give
let it hit
you
me.
I will give you 60 seconds to think of what you can or will do.
Since he said don't fight, since he said to meet the being and to gain power, I'm gonna say He doesn't want me to fight said being. So let the being hit me.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Alright. You stand your ground and meet this being head on, which it slams inside of you, and you feel a great force slam into you as it seemingly fuses with your body. And then you feel whirling energies coursing throughout as it just feels like you ever feel a combination of where you're so pumped with energy that it feels like you're vibrating constantly and your blood is boiling?
Yes.
You feel that, but amplified to 11 right now. Like, if you wanted to, you could go run across the ocean. That's how you feel.
Caffeine overload, be like...
Right. That's how Shad currently feels. What does Shad do? Are you just gonna run off somewhere?
I try and contain myself a little bit, but the amount of energy is just making me go hyper, so I just always use just one spot, next spot, one spot, next spot.
Alright, give me a wisdom save then.
This is gonna go horribly.
Oh, you aren't managing to contain the energy, as there's just a permanent smile on your face, and you are bolting as far as you can into this shadowy place.
Teleportation be like, I'm here, no I'm not, I'm here, no I'm not.
You also begin to feel something. A lot of something, actually. As you feel stronger. A lot stronger. Now, as a character, would you be okay if I gave you level ups in addition to the boot?
If you want to, sure.
Yeah, because you are getting certain levels in certain classes.
Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm. You are going to be over leveled compared to the rest of the party, which, do you know how that works and how that's working for Shadow?
He doesn't go anywhere with his levels, he just sits there?
Basically, yeah. So, you are going to be over leveled compared to the rest of the party. Whenever they get a level up, you do not until the average level meets where you are, in which case you will then begin to level up again. Or until you get some other outside source which gives you more levels artificially. There's a few examples of those, like the Auric Mask. Would you like to know how far you shot, by the way, in terms of level?
Yes.
You shot from level 9 to level 18.
Jesus Christ.
As you will now be a level 6 barbarian, a level 6 fighter, and a level 6 sorcerer. Shadow Soul Sorcerer, specifically.
All because of the shadows.
Uh-huh. But you also gain some new subclasses.
Uh-oh.
So, you are a Shadow Soul Sorcerer. Because you start to regain some of your old memories. And you actually are regaining some of your old memories and some of your old mannerisms. You have Wild Soul Barbarian now.
That seems accurate.
And you've also gained 2 fighter subclasses. You've gained Champion Fighter and Brute Fighter. So you now have 3 Barbarian subclasses, 3 Fighter subclasses, and 1 Sorcerer. In addition to 6 levels in each, so you're level 18. We will go over exactly what all this means later. Unless you want to go over it right now on stream, because we have been streaming for about 2 hours, so I am fine calling it here if you want to.
Yeah, we can call it here.
Okay. So, Then I'll fast forward a little bit. So, all of these level ups happen. We'll go over the specifics of what I mean later. But then you eventually make your way back to the door. And you run back through the door into Sylvester's lair. And Sylvester smiles at you. And says, "Good. You have attained some of your old power. The field."
I look at Sylvester and I say, for a while I felt like I was hyped up on something called caffeine?
"How's your new buddy?" he says as he points to a black hound that is currently following you. That you don't recognize, but you feel familiar.
It's a furball.
It's
I like to keep at it.
It is a black. It looks to be what is a. It looks to be an emaciated dog that is also jet black and oozing with shadows.
Shadow Mastiff.
Basically, it's kind of like a shadow mastiff, except it looks like it's malnourished.
Aw, poor puppy.
It doesn't seem to be in pain though, so there's that.
I shall feed it so it becomes better.
Would you like to go back to the others?
Yes, please.
All right. He will
Wait.
He
I can do it on my
back to
own.
the rest of the body. Sorry, go ahead.
My response, I can do it on my own. As you just see me disappear.
Before you have a chance to do that, he teleports you back to the others. And we will catch up with what happens there towards the end of the next session, because the first half of the next session will be Linda and Oberon, as well as Chris Burke. But I will point out one thing you notice immediately when you go back. And this is a little bit of a cliffhanger for the side session. When you go back, you still see your paralyzed body there, but you're not in it.
God damn the astral form.
And we will leave that as a cliffhanger. Thank you everyone for watching, if indeed you still are, and catch y'all later.